Imagine this. It's 2024 and, well, the world is buzzing with rumors. Satellite images leak online showing the skeletal structure of a massive new ship under construction in a Chinese shipyard. Observers are whispering, could this be China's fourth aircraft carrier and, more astonishingly, nuclear-powered? For many, the idea seems almost impossible. After all, it took the United States nearly 40 years to go from its first aircraft carrier to its first nuclear-powered carrier. China, with less than 20 years of carrier experience, achieving this? Skeptics shake their heads. Yet, the evidence is stacking up. Analysts notice a design without a visible chimney. Satellite photos confirm a massive hull comparable, or even larger, than the U.S. Ford-class carrier, and reports surface of shipboard nuclear reactor tests. Suddenly, a vessel that could redefine naval power seems closer to reality than anyone expected. This is more than just a ship. It's a statement. If China can field a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier larger and potentially more advanced than America's Pride, it would send shockwaves across global military circles. Analysts, enthusiasts, and governments alike are left asking the same question. How did China achieve this so fast? And what does it mean for the balance of power at sea? In this video, we'll dive deep into the story of China's Type 004 aircraft carrier, exploring the rumors, the proof, and the revolutionary capabilities that could make it a game-changer in naval warfare. To understand just how extraordinary China's rapid progress is, we need to step back in time and look at the evolution of aircraft carriers. Imagine the year 1960. The United States had just launched the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. Before that, it had spent decades perfecting conventional carriers, learning how to operate aircraft at sea, and gradually building a technological and logistical foundation that allowed nuclear propulsion to be feasible. The journey from launching the first conventional carrier to fielding a nuclear-powered one took nearly 40 years, decades of research, trials, and incremental innovation. Now compare that to China. In just 20 years, China has gone from 0 operational carriers to having 3 conventionally powered carriers in service. Media. Aerial footage of modern Chinese aircraft carriers at sea, satellite imagery of Chinese carriers in port, the Liaoning in 2012, the Shandong in 2017, and the Fujian in 2022. Each step represented a leap forward, moving from retrofitted designs to fully domestically built carriers, gradually mastering complex systems like flight decks, propulsion, and catapults. This timeline makes the idea of a nuclear-powered Type 004 so surprising. The world naturally reacted with skepticism. How could a country with just 2 decades of carrier experience skip directly to nuclear propulsion, something the U.S. spent 4 decades developing? And yet, the satellite images, models, and reactor reports suggest China may have done just that. Understanding this context isn't just history, it sets the stage for appreciating the scale of China's achievement. The Type 004 isn't just another ship, it could represent a quantum leap in naval power, challenging long-held assumptions about how quickly advanced carriers can be developed. So, why does it matter that the Type 004 is nuclear-powered? The difference is huge. Nuclear propulsion isn't just about being futuristic, it completely changes what an aircraft carrier can do. Imagine a conventional carrier. It burns fuel constantly, needs to refuel every few weeks, and relies heavily on supply ships or nearby ports. Its range is limited, about 22,000 kilometers on a full load of fuel. That sounds long, but in global terms, it's a fraction of the oceans. Now, compare that to a nuclear-powered carrier. With a full nuclear fuel load, the Type 004 could theoretically travel up to 2 million kilometers, which is like circling the Earth 50 times without refueling. It's not just a ship anymore, it's a mobile base at sea, capable of operating independently, projecting air power, and maintaining a presence in distant waters for months or even years. This endurance also allows for strategic flexibility, The carrier can launch long-range operations, support regional allies, and respond quickly to crises without depending on foreign ports. It gives the Navy a degree of autonomy and operational reach that conventional carriers simply cannot match. In short, nuclear power transforms the carrier from a powerful warship into a floating fortress and command hub, capable of influencing events across entire oceans. With this context, we can now look at the design and technical highlights of Type 004, the features that make it not just long-lasting, but formidably capable in combat. The Type 004 isn't just big, it's engineered for dominance. Based on satellite images and leaked models, this carrier is roughly 335 meters long and 83 meters wide, with a displacement of about 115,000 tons. To put that in perspective, that's even larger than the U.S. Ford class, giving it more space for a longer flight deck and heavier equipment. This sheer size allows it to carry over 80 carrier-based aircraft, which could include fighters, surveillance planes, and future sixth-generation jets. The carrier's flight systems are equally advanced. It features 3 aircraft elevators and 4 electromagnetic catapults, a step up from traditional steam catapults. These catapults allow planes to launch faster and more efficiently, reducing the time between sorties, a critical advantage in combat. The elevator layout, with 2 at the front on the starboard side and 1 at the rear on the port side, optimizes deck traffic and makes operations smoother, almost like a well-organized airport in the middle of the ocean. At the heart of the ship is its nuclear reactor, estimated to output 125 megawatts, which is 25 megawatts more than a Nimitz-class U.S. carrier. That extra power doesn't just keep the ship moving, it fuels the electromagnetic catapults, advanced radar, sensors, and potentially laser weapons or other cutting-edge systems. Essentially, the Type 004 is not just a carrier, it's a floating powerhouse, capable of supporting a massive air wing while sustaining high-tech operations across the globe. With this foundation, it's easier to see how the Type 004 integrates with other ships and aircraft in a carrier battle group, which is the real test of its combat effectiveness. A carrier alone is powerful, but its real strength comes from how it operates within a fleet. The Type 004 isn't just a floating airbase, it's the centerpiece of a battle group, coordinating with ships like the Type 055 destroyers, which carry hypersonic missiles with ranges up to 1,500 kilometers. Think of it as a floating city of military power, where the carrier is the airport, the destroyers are long-range defense towers, and together they form an unstoppable team. The synergy between the carrier and its fleet is critical. The Type 004 launches and recovers fighters rapidly thanks to its electromagnetic catapults, while the destroyers extend the reach of its firepower and provide layers of protection. This combination allows the fleet to strike distant targets, defend itself against aircraft and missiles, and maintain electronic dominance in the battle zone. In practical terms, the Type 04 and its battle group can operate independently, far from home ports, sustaining combat operations anywhere in the world. It's not just a ship, it's a mobile hub for command, reconnaissance, and air operations, with enough power and technology to manage an entire theater of war. This is what makes nuclear-powered carriers game-changers in naval strategy. They multiply the effectiveness of every plane and ship in the fleet, creating a force multiplier unmatched by conventional carriers. With this understanding, it's easier to see why the rapid development of Type 004 has strategic implications for global naval power, particularly for the balance between China and the United States. China's rapid progress with aircraft carriers is more than just a technical achievement, it's a geopolitical game-changer. In just over a decade, China went from 0 carriers to 3 active ships, Liaoning, Shandong, and Fujian, and now is building 2 nuclear-powered carriers simultaneously, Type 004 and Type 005. For comparison, the United States took decades to expand its nuclear carrier fleet, and it still maintains 11 nuclear carriers today. By around 2030, Experts predict that China could have up to 10 aircraft carriers. That's not just numbers, it's a shift in global power projection. With these carriers, China could operate large carrier battle groups in multiple oceans at once, challenge the U.S. Navy's control of strategic waterways, and influence international trade routes or conflict zones far from its shores. The U.S. Navy has long relied on carrier dominance as a cornerstone of global maritime strategy. The emergence of Type 004 and future carriers directly challenges this assumption. Suddenly, the U.S. faces a potential rival capable of matching or surpassing its operational reach, forcing a rethink of strategies, alliances, and resource allocation. In short, China's carriers are not just ships, they're tools of strategic influence, signaling that global naval power is no longer guaranteed by tradition or past dominance. This raises serious questions about how nations will respond to China's rapidly expanding maritime capabilities and why the world is watching closely. The rise of China's Type 004 nuclear-powered aircraft carrier marks a turning point in naval history. From early skepticism about China's ability to build a nuclear carrier in just 20 years, to satellite confirmations, advanced design breakthroughs, and integration into a powerful battle group, the story shows how rapidly Chinese naval power is advancing. Type 004 isn't just another ship, it represents a new era of global maritime influence. Its size, nuclear propulsion, advanced aircraft systems, and synergy with destroyers make it a mobile base capable of projecting power anywhere on the planet, reducing reliance on foreign ports and reshaping the balance of naval dominance. This is why the U.S. and other nations are paying close attention. The rules of global naval strategy are changing. Looking forward, China's continued carrier expansion, including the Type 005 and potentially 10 carriers by 2030, signals a future where multiple nations may compete for control over the seas, making strategic planning and technological innovation more critical than ever. The era of unquestioned maritime dominance by a single nation may be ending. If you want to stay updated on this unfolding story of next-generation naval technology, aircraft carriers, and global maritime power, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The sea of the future is changing fast, and this is just the beginning.